It's your boy, the hater up in this bitch. We're gonna talk about NXT last night. I actually watched it for the first time in God knows how long. I was just on my phone, and it was kind of playing on the background, but I just watched it. I didn't even skip the commercials. I was on my phone. I was busy doing other things, and I would just kind of watch. So I did actually watch it, and I thought it was pretty enjoyable actually. But we'll get to that later. First, I just want to address one quick thing about Technical Work Productions, and by that I mean their shitty little 10-minute rant on their video. Someone told me about it. I went and I saw it, and when I saw it, I laughed. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't laugh at their comedy, obviously, because they're not funny or clever or smart or masculine or quite honestly, they're not really anything. But I laughed at their impression of me because it was objectively the worst impression I've ever heard in my life. Like, these guys just are not good at doing impressions based on the impression that they did on me. So they should just stop that immediately. It was embarrassing, right? And even during their impression, they sounded less like sissies than they do. In other words, when they imitate me is when they sound their best, all right? These guys are fucking losers. Next, one of them, he said that, if I continue making videos about them, this proves that I'm butthurt, and this proves that, I'm a loser or whatever. First of all, nothing that they claim is true. You can't just redefine things as you please. They're like, well, if he responds, then he's a loser. What is this, the third grade? First of all, if I respond, it's because I want to respond. And I don't give a fuck what you think. What do you think of them apples? Secondly, this is like the classic bait and switch trick of we said it, and if he speaks again, then he's insecure. It's literally what parents tell their children when they're bullied. It's like, oh, you got bullied because the bully's insecure. No, you got bullied most likely because you're a pussy. That's probably what happened. And that's what's happening to these guys too. Anyways, also, it seems like they know everything about me. It was really weird. They're like, on September 12th, the hater did this video, and then on September 19th, he commented on our video, and I banned him. First of all, nobody banned me from anything. I just put a comment on your video 2 days ago, you fucking retard. That's the dumber one. The one with the softer voice. They're both stupid as shit, but that one is the dumber one by a tiny margin, right? He's like, that's why I banned him. Banned me from what, dumbass? I put a comment yesterday on your video. What did you ban me from? Anyways, they seem to know all this history about me, right? It's fucking strange, but it was part of their just general excuse-laden video. All they did was make excuses. They're like, well, if you're a fan of both of us, you can like us both. We don't have anything against you. Oh, we're not going to talk about him again, but this. Oh, I took a shot at him, but it was just a joke. Shut the fuck up. Don't be a pussy. Fucking stand by what you do. Have some balls, It wasn't a joke. You took a shot at me. You took a shot at me because you thought that you were going to be funny. You thought that you're clever. And you took a shot at me for no fucking reason. So don't judge if I'm mad or not. Of course I'm mad. Nobody takes a shot at me for no reason. And that's exactly what they would do. They're passive-aggressive pussies. So for them, it's like, well, people took a shot at us and we didn't respond. I know, motherfucks. I know. I mean, obviously, I don't know what the hell you're talking about specifically, but I do know that you are the type to not respond. I know that. Not everyone is like you. I got news for you, pal. Not everyone is a guy that got pushed into a locker and just stood there and took it. Some of us, motherfucks, got pushed and pushed back. You guys aren't like that. You're not cut out from the same cloth as me, as I said in the last video. I'm cut out from a different cloth. You're cut out from the cloth of bitch and pussy, and I stand by that. They're also more upset than I am, which I find odd because they're the ones who were like, we would never respond to Twitter beef, and they just did, So they're just full of shit on all cylinders. I will say this, motherfucks. I will say this. During this whole thing, first of all, it was scripted as shit. But during this whole thing, they did say one thing that was true. One thing. There was one thing that was the truth, motherfucks. Because they made up a lot of things that I didn't say. They're like, oh, this guy hates us because we make fun of women. No, they never said anything like that. What the fuck are you talking about, And also, for all you motherfucks that are their fans, you look at my video that I made about them. Watch that. Go watch it again if you watched it, and then watch their 10-minute rant on me. And you will see that they've said everything about me that I've said about them. I call them Smart Busters ripoffs. Their response is, he's a Smart Busters ripoff. I'm like, you're sissy cucks, look at you. They're like, he's a sissy cock, look at him. They have no originality whatsoever. They've said the same things about me that I said about them. It's pathetic, and stop it. It's embarrassing. You're making fools out of yourselves. And I will say this, though. There was one element of truth. in it, they admitted the truth, you know? And they can't deny it because even people that stupid understand that there's facts. They explained how, like, in their first attack on me, they said I'm stuck on Park, right? And my counter argument to that is you've been doing this for 13 years. I don't care if you delete your old videos and pretend you've been doing it for 4. You've been doing this for 13 years. And their response, this is how stupid they are. This is like the smarter one, you know? Which he may actually be the dumber one. I'm not even sure now. He's like, we have been doing it for 13 years. We did it for 8, then rebranded ourselves, and then did it for 5. That was his counter argument to me saying you've been doing it for 13 years. Think about that shit, you dumb fucks. Think about what you're saying. I'm saying you've been doing this since 2008, and you're like, well, through the beginning we weren't very good. For the first 8 years, we got nothing accomplished and then rebranded ourselves. This validates everything I've been saying, which are 2 main things. Number 1, these guys are inauthentic because they have to rebrand themselves. They're fucking losers. They realize that what they really wanted to do, whatever the fuck it was, probably talking about wrestling. I don't care if they say they rebranded themselves. For 8 years, it got no traction. They had like 13 subscribers, or whatever the fuck it was, like 100 subscribers. I think they said 13, but I could be wrong. They've had like 13 subscribers for probably their friends and family. I have no friends and family as my subscribers, by the way. Never mind. Anyways, for 8 years, these guys had like 13 subscribers. Then, when they started getting some subscribers, they just called that a rebranding. You know what I'm saying? This would be like me getting 2,000 subscribers in the next few months and then being like, I rebrand myself. You know, my channel actually starts today. If we do that, if I rebrand myself in 8 years, I'll already have more than 4,000 subscribers. Obviously. You know what I'm saying? So cut the shit with that. Oh, I rebranded myself. Just call it like it is. You were shit for the first 8-9 years, and now you're quasi-shit. You're shit with some following. One of your shitty videos blew up to some capacity, and you got some followers. So don't talk to me about being stuck on Park, dumb fucks. You were stuck on Park for fucking 9 years, alright? You're fucking embarrassment. And I will say this, you know, I know that they did wrestling videos before this because I've been on YouTube individually for a long, long time. Not the hater, but my personal account. And I've ran across their videos from before. So they didn't start making wrestling videos 3 or 4 years ago, right? Where did the videos go? Did they remove them? Or perhaps Baphomet did it, motherfucks. This sounds like Baphomet to me. This is something that only something as evil and sinister as Baphomet would do. I watched one of their videos last night because I was trying to find the Baphomet clip, and they're talking about how WWE has a Satanist agenda because their price is $9.99, and if you flip $9.99, as the Illuminati would do, you get $666. The guy's such a pussy, he didn't even say, oh, if you flip $9.99, I'm not going to say what it is. Like, he's such a fucking sissy. It's, like, embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? And then they said that Becky Lynch's goat jacket is a sign of Satanist iconography. Of course, they didn't use the word iconography, right? Because they don't know that word. But just like they say, I don't know some words. And also just something just really funny. Like, the dumber one, he was like, the agenda is very prevalent. It's prevalent, you fucking retard. It's not prevalent. What the fuck is prevalent? It's prevalent. You dumb fuck, right? Just like, oh, cachet. The word you're probably trying to use is cash. Cachet means something else, dumb fuck. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. These guys just are so stupid, they don't even realize how they come off. They literally believe in this. They believe in Baphomet, motherfucks. And they think that Baphomet, right, and Becky Lynch's goat thing, it's a sign. Oh, Becky Lynch wore a goat logo. This is to signal to everybody else that Baphomet is in control. Like, these fucking guys are insane, motherfucks. Or maybe not Baphomet's control, but it's part of the Satanist agenda. You know, these guys believe in Baphomet. And quite honestly, if you watch their videos, their conspiracy videos, or their videos about the Satanist agenda, and you agree with them, you are fucking retarded. I'm sorry to tell you. You are incorrigibly retarded. You think that WWE pricing their network at $9.99, one of the most common prices, second only to $19.99, I believe, you know, one of the most common prices ever, you think that is a play on 666? If you really believe that, you are stupid, motherfucks. It's not even close. You are dumb, and you need to stop watching these two retards because they're poisoning your stupid brain already. Your suggestible, stupid brain. You know, I know there's a lot of them. Just like other YouTube channels have certain types of fan bases. I know that Technical Work and Production, the majority of their fans, Some of them overlap with mine. I don't know about those guys because they watch me too, so they can't be that stupid. But the majority of the ones that are just there, they're retards. They're just making fools of themselves. But anyways, this 2-minute thing turned into a 10-minute rant because, as you can see, there's a lot to cover there. These guys are fucking nerds, and a lot of nerd shit had to be explained. Now let's get to NXT. First up, I just want to say this wasn't really that bad. You know, it wasn't really like a bad episode of NXT, but it was only good for a few reasons. First off, Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase kick off the show. As everyone knows, I like Cameron Grimes, and I always have. But I liked him more when he was a heel because he had more of a character. Now he's just like another guy who he's now $1 million champion. But I like him in the ring. He has cool moves. His wrestling style is believable. He wrestles like someone would if wrestling was real. You know what I mean? Like he does like these like standing stomps and like counter moves and things of that nature. So basically they have an exchange. Later on in the night, Cameron Grimes gives the title back to Ted DiBiase, and it's replaced by DiBiase by like one of those fake replica titles. I don't know if this means that the title is discontinued or if that was just a joke. Who the fuck knows? Then we had a pretty fun match that really highlighted the difference between a good wrestler and a bad wrestler. We had Ridge Holland versus Karrion Kross. Ridge Holland fucking rules. And this is going to sound weird, but there's one reason why he rules. He is stocky and has a big head. All right? For some reason, this look just makes sense. He's a dude. A lot of people don't know this because they've never done combat sports. But the bigger your head, that's a really good indicator of how tough you are. Now, I don't mean like how much heart you have, but how much punches you can take, obviously, right? And how hard you hit, period. And where the head goes, the body follows, motherfuckers. And this guy's got a gigantic head. So when he started headbutting people, it was awesome. Because it wasn't like Drew McIntyre, who was like a normal-sized head headbutting people. It was a guy with a hammer for a head headbutting people. And the fact that he's so stocky, and like the fact that he's short too, this guy's gonna be like 5'10", 5'11", right? It really emphasizes how strong he is. He was throwing Timothy Thatcher around. I couldn't believe that Timothy Thatcher is still here. Like, I don't see the point. Timothy Thatcher would be better off with Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne and those two other guys, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, because to me, Timothy Thatcher just reminds me of Oney Lorcan. He's the same exact guy, like same moves and everything. I hope Ridge Holland gets a push. And I believe, just like I've predicted everything else, motherfuckers, I've predicted since the beginning of my channel that people like Finn Balor aren't going to do super well. Actually, I mean, that was a little bit later because he was already kind of on the main roster. But so I won't give myself credit for that, motherfuckers. But I've given myself, I've predicted very well where people are going to end up. I said Shayna Baszler is going to flop completely, right? And she did. Now she's like in the tag team division. Obviously, I said Karrion Kross is going to fail, and he has failed by all metrics. Same thing with Ricochet. I've been very, very good at predicting who's going to do well and who's going to do poorly. Ridge Holland, when he goes to the main roster, is going to do excellently. Now, excellently meaning like he's going to be like, you know, like the next Sheamus. Like, that's what he's going to be. He's not going to be like, you know, the next Cena. And when I say the next Sheamus, I mean the next Sheamus as Sheamus is now. He's not going to be like main eventing WrestleManias and shit like that. But he's going to do better than Karrion Kross. He's going to do better than Samoa Joe. He's going to do better than virtually anyone else that's gone from NXT to WWE in the last like 2 years, you know? So there you have it. Next up, we have Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter versus Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. I don't know who the fuck JC Jane is, but that's one of the dumbest names I've heard in my life. Casey Catanzaro, I like her a lot. I always have. She's athletic and she's attractive, so we need more of hers instead of people like fucking, you know, like Sasha Banks, who is neither. But anyways, neither here nor there. I really like the Gigi Dolan and JC Jane entrance. You know, it was like different. It was unique. And it was better than just two broads coming out. Obviously, Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter win. I mean, that shouldn't surprise anybody. It was what it was. Then we had Kaylee Ray versus Valentina Ferros from Brazil. Now, the problem here is that, like, Kaylee Ray is just the next Shayna Baszler, except she doesn't look the part. She's going to do well in NXT, and when she moves to the main roster, she's going to do well before fading into obscurity. Like, it doesn't matter. Her career, as far as I'm concerned, in WWE is already over. You know, this girl's not exceptional in any capacity. They're like, oh, she's the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion. Like, UK Women's Champion. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? There's like 3 women there. So, you know, we'll see. Next up, we had like a little in-ring segment. Samoa Joe comes out and like it looks like he's back to being a full-time wrestler. Wasn't he like the authority figure? Whatever. He's a full-time wrestler. Pete Dunne comes out. LA Knight comes out. Pete Dunne says absolutely nothing. LA Knight comes out, cuts a decent promo. Pete Dunne, like, LA Knight tries to get in the ring. Pete Dunne's like, if you take one more step, I'll break all your fingers. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. LA Knight would beat the shit out of this guy in like 30 seconds. The mere suggestion that Pete Dunne would intimidate LA Knight is preposterous, right? Oh, but Pete Dunne, he's just like William Regal, and William Regal was a shoot fighter, and he was undefeated in the streets of Liverpool, and he would beat up Goldberg in real life. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't do any of those things. Shut the fuck up. And then the worst one of them all, Kako Riley comes out. Kako Riley comes out, and his new thing, apparently, is just mispronouncing people's names. You know? He's like technical worker productions in that sense. Like, he thinks that shit's funny. Like, it's fucking embarrassing. So he's like, Pete Dune, which other people have said before, and he's like, Lanite, you know? And he's trying to be like this clever guy. Then he turns into a cuck real quick, once again, mirroring our boys. He's like, Joe, he's like, I respect the hell. It was so, I couldn't think of anything more pussy than this. He's like, I respect the hell out of you, Joe, and I'm not asking for a title shot. I've earned a title shot. And he said it, he delivered it like a bitch. And then more chaos ensued because various people came to attack everybody in the ring. They attacked Joe, they attacked a bunch of people. Then we had Carmelo Hayes versus Odyssey Jones. During the night, we had little interviews with both of these guys being like, what does this mean to you, right? And I personally think that Carmelo Hayes is the wrong decision here. I think, like, it's clear when you look at all the people that were part of the breakout tournament, it's clear who's going to be a star and who isn't. And the answer is fucking Brendan Vink, and that's probably it. He's the guy that's going to come out the most on top of this, right? It's evident. You can look at them and you know which one's is going to win. It's not going to be Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones is at best going to be the next Keith Lee, and we all know what happens with Keith Lee. He's a jobber, basically. You know, Odyssey Jones will never be the next Keith Lee. He's more likely going to be the next what's it called? What's the fat guy that just got fired? The former North American champion. Fuck, what's his name? Bronson Reed. There you go. Bronson Reed. He's going to be the next Bronson Reed, motherfucks. You know, and just like I said, Bronson Reed was going to get fired. That's exactly what happened. So, him, and then we have Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes, this guy, like, I mean, I see why they like him. He's in good shape. He's athletic, but we've seen this 1,000 times. You know, he should just go and hang out with Hit Row because he's also athletic and he also is black, and that's what WWE does. They put together people that look the same. So I might as well put him there now instead of like waiting till that team dilutes and then this guy will end up being nothing because he's not going to do anything, you know? I don't know what to tell you, motherfucks. Someone says here, it's great to see Black Excellence in the finals of the NXT Breakout Tournament. What the fuck is Black Excellence? Is that like a tag team or is that like a concept that I am not familiar with? The match was okay. Obviously, Carmelo Hayes won because that's just what happens. You know what I'm saying? The small guy wins. Pin this bitch. They like smiled at each other. And Carmelo Hayes got nothing out of this whole tournament. Carmelo Hayes was the only one that was on TV. You could have just had him win 2 or 3 straight matches, and it would have the same impact as winning 2 or 3 straight matches in a shitty tournament against jobbers. You know? So I think this tournament was a waste of time. I think he gets a title shot as a result, so we'll see. But I wasn't a fan of this finals. Or the tournament at all, to be honest. Then we had Zion Quinn versus Boa. All right. This whole, like, Chinese woman on the throne thing is retarded, okay? Nobody likes this. This has been boring. It led to nothing. It could have been fucking some sort of gimmick, but it's just someone just judging 2 wrestlers, basically. Boa goes in there, gets his ass beat by Zion Quinn in one of the worst finishes in the history of wrestling. This was almost like a Karrion Kross level finishing move. This guy just jumps and does a forearm and then pins this guy. It was so stupid. It's like, dude, how about do a wrestling move? And this Zion Quinn guy was a big dude, so he could do something. Next up, we had Legado del Fantasma versus Hit Row. Now, Hit Row is garbage, all right? Hit Row is 3 geeks who think they're cool. The girl that's with them is attractive by wrestling standards, at least. You know what I'm saying? She's more attractive than like Sasha Banks, you know, and Bayley. But like she ain't nothing to gawk at either. But the worst part about them is the fact that they insist on once in a while rapping. Like, just keep the gimmick, motherfucks. Keep the gimmick, but don't actually rap because you're not good at it. All right? People need to understand, if you're not good at something, either get better at it or don't do it in public because the rest of us don't fucking want to see it. Now, with that being said, motherfucks, I like Hit Row as a concept because even though it's a very loose gimmick, it's a gimmick, right? The idea is these guys are like, they're kind of like Crime Mob, the rap group Crime Mob, in the sense that there's like, it's like a mix of guys and girls, and they like hip hop, and they apparently make hits, right? The whole idea, which is also a pun on like, you know, getting hit, like a hitman type of shit, right? So these guys, as a gimmick, I like it for the reasons that I just mentioned. That number one, it's a gimmick, right? And it's a clearly fleshed out gimmick, like you know what the hell's going on. They're basically a rap group, right? But they need to not rap, unfortunately, because they're not good at it. Ashanti Adonis and Swerve, what's his name? Shane Swerve, whatever. Swerve, motherfucks, that guy. They're actually not bad in the ring either. The girl, I don't know. I haven't seen her wrestle. And then that big guy, he's like horrible. He's like on the level of Bad Luck Fale. Like, he's just not good at wrestling. He's not athletic. There's nothing good about him, you know? But he's a big guy, so I guess he fits their aesthetic well. And then they wrestled Legado del Fantasma, which has been doing nothing for the last year and a half. Like, I don't know why these guys are even there, you know? Like, Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza are underrated, and these guys should have been tag team champions, you know? It wouldn't have hurt if they were tag team champions first and had a good feud with MSK where they win the titles, you know? Like, it wouldn't have hurt to give these guys a quick little run, because they're not bad, you know? Now, with that being said, cucks, the match itself was okay. The whole point of the match was that some broad named Elektra, what was her name? Elektra Lopez. Elektra Lopez came in and attacked the girl. What's her name? B Bad, B Fab, B Rad. I don't know. They attacked her, and then as a result, the finish was also shit. As a result, fucking, what the fuck's this guy's name? Like Santos Escobar. There it is. Santos Escobar, as a result, got a quick pin on fucking Swerve, right? Sorry guys, I don't know these guys' names, to be honest. You know, and that's what that was. Like, it's like, I guess it's the end of the feud that didn't need to happen. Or hopefully Santos Escobar gets a shot at the title. I don't like Santos Escobar. I think he's the weakest one out of the three. He's just like a fatter guy. He's just like fatter and like less interesting than the other two. He doesn't do any cool moves, really. He just does like a cradle shock as a finisher, and that's it. There's nothing good about him. He was good. Like, my favorite feud of his was him versus Karrion Kross, just because he's a small guy, and it was giving the Cruiserweight title some actual, like, you know, coverage. But beyond that, I couldn't care less. Like, Swerve as being a Cruiserweight champion has been shit. Like, he's just doing things with Hit Row. But whatever, you know. I thought the episode was good because there was a lot of things that advanced storylines, and we know now where things are headed, right? Whether you like it or not, the Carmelo Hayes versus Odyssey Jones match was okay, but more importantly, it ended the tournament, which means now we know that one of these guys has a title shot. Samoa Joe is there now to like carry NXT forward. Karrion Kross is on his way to Raw, and after that, he's gonna be on his way back to NXT, saying this is where he always belonged and all that other shit, just like everybody else that doesn't make it. Or more likely than not, he's gonna be released. But anyways, there you go, motherfucks. That's been your NXT review and your little dose of reality on those two dweebs. But let's see what happens. The thing that I'm actually looking forward to is the development of Ridge Holland. Coincidentally, Ridge is my dog's name that I just got, so I also like him for that, motherfucks. But I like him. I since Pat McAfee can't be there, I'll take what I'm getting with the Pete Dunne faction and Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland is cool. I like him. So hopefully he does some cool shit and he becomes champion sooner rather than later. All right, motherfuckers, take care of yourselves.